So let's discuss this NEET 2023 paper, which I found to be really easy. 60% of the questions were from class 12 and 40% of the questions were from class 11. And let's see the actual questions. So in the first question, which is from rotation, very easy question it is, but the answer is wrong, or I can say none of the options are correct here. So what is given here is like radius of gyration, and we already know that radius of gyration is nothing but we take this as mk square, and on this side we have the moment of inertia, and that is I by m under root. So for solid sphere, I can easily say that this will be 2 by 5 under root r. And for hollow sphere, I can easily say that this will be 2 by 3 under root of r. So if I take the ratio of these two, so basically the ratio will come out to be under root 3 by 5. But none of the options has this, but the closest one is 3 by 5 without the under root 1. Now, if I talk about the second question is from modern physics, a very easy question here. And you just have to know, and of course, everybody knows the photoelectric effect equation, that is the kinetic energy maximum is equal to h nu minus phi. So basically here h nu should be greater than phi. That is the energy of the photon should be greater than the work function. And the energy of the photon is 2.2 electron volt. And it is greater than only one case, that is 2.14 electron volt. That means that's the work function of cesium. So fourth is the correct answer. So a very basic question. So the last two questions have been very easy. And now here, the amount of energy required to form a soap bubble of radius 2 centimeter. So it's a very easy question. We know that the energy is given by surface tension into area. But the trick, there is a small trick that a soap bubble has two areas. So we have to multiply it by 2. So surface tension is 0.03 and area. So we have to take the area as 4 pi and we have to convert this into meter because everything has to be in the SI unit. This multiplied by 2, and when you will solve this, you will realize that the answer is like nearly equal to 3.01 into 10 to the power minus 4 joules. So I hope you can do the calculation on your own. Now, this is the resistance of a carbon resistor. So we know that in a carbon resistor, there are multiple colors like 1, 2, 3, and then there's a separation. So this indicates the first digit, this indicates the second digit, this indicates the multiplier, and this indicates the load or the safety factor. So here, if I talk about the resistance given in the questions, which can be written as 22 into 10 to the power plus minus 5%. So we know that this is the first digit, second digit, and this is the third digit, which is nothing but a multiplier. So multiplier is 10 to the power 3. And if you remember the table for the color code, so you know that black, blue, red, orange. 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 3. So this is 10 to the power 3. So it corresponds to orange. So this is the correct answer. So the only thing here is that you should know the basically the table which has a very beautiful mnemonics, that is B.B. Roy of Great Britain has beautiful wife. Great Britain has beautiful wife. So if you remember this mnemonics, you know all the color and all the digits and the multiplier and the load. Now the next question is from LCR circuit, which is a AC, and we have been given inductance and capacitance, and we have been asked to find out the resonance frequency. So we know that the resonance frequency is 1 by 2 pi under root LC. So again, a very easy question. You have been given the value of L, you have been given the value of C. So you can write this as 1 by 2 pi. Inductance can be written as 10 into 10 to the power minus 3, and the capacitance is 1 into 10 to the power minus 6 because it is microfarad and millihenry. And you can further simplify it and you'll get the correct answer as 1.59 kilohertz. Let's move on to the next question. So next question is from electromagnetic waves chapter, class 12, and it's the easiest question, because we know that C is E by B. That is the speed of electromagnetic wave is the ratio of electric field and the magnetic field at any instant of time. So this is 3 into 10 to the power 8, and the electric field is 48, and we have B here. So B is like 16 into 10 to the power minus 8, which is like 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 7. So second is the correct answer. Now, again, another very uh, easy question from semiconductors. So what does it say? Photovoltaic devices. And definitely we know that it works on the optical radiation. When it falls, there is electron hole creation. And due to the electron hole creation, the electricity increases in the circuit. And the Zener diode, of course, it's a special type of diode which is devised to work in the reverse bias region and maintain a constant potential difference. So both the statements are true. Now, this question, unpredictable fluctuation, a very theoretical question from the first chapter of physics, class 11th, and that is called as random error. So anybody who has done a very simple basic study also of physics from NCERT would have been able to answer the last question. There now we have here E dot ds. This E dot ds is called as electric flux, and this is equal to 0. So for a closed surface, a flux is 0 when there is no charge inside the Gaussian surface. That means in that situation, whatever electric field lines are entering the surface from one side is exiting from the other side. So basically, fourth is the correct option. The number of flux line entering the surface must be equal to number of flux line leaving the surface. Now, in this question from current electricity, a bit of calculation might be there. So let's suppose if there are 2 points A and B, and there is no current here. If there's no current here, that means even if the galvanometer has some resistance, that will not create a potential difference. So the potential difference across AB will be that of equal to that of battery. And since I current is passing through this, I can say this is I times R, where I can find out the current from this circuit, this 400 and R in series. So this is 10 divided by 400 plus RE. We substitute it here, 2 into 10 upon 400 plus R multiplied by R. So we have 800 plus 2R is equal to 10R. And on solving, we get R has 100 ohms. So a very pretty basic question from current electricity. Now, an AC source is connected to a capacitor C due to decrease in its operating frequency. Now, in order to answer this question has been had multiple things in it. It has a essence of AC. It has the essence of this electromagnetic wave. So, if you know the displacement current, which is like epsilon naught d phi E by dt, that is the rate of change of electrical flux. And if I know the formula of capacitive reactance, which is XC is 1 by omega C. So I can clearly see here that if omega decreases, that means XC will increase. So here capacitive reactance constant, here capacitive reactance decreases. So basically both these options are incorrect. And here I can say that in a capacitor, suppose if I have a AC source whose voltage varies, V is equal to V naught sine omega t, and we have a capacitor here. So the charge on this capacitor at any instant will be CV naught sine omega t. And if I have the charge, then the flux here will be proportional to CV naught sine omega t. That means this flux is proportional to CV naught sine omega t. So d phi by dt is proportional to CV naught omega cos omega t. So we see that d phi by dt is directly proportional to omega. So displacement current will be also be directly proportional to omega. So if omega decreases, the displacement current will also decrease. Now let's talk about the next question, the minimum wavelength of X-ray produced by an electron. So the graph, everybody remembers the graph is something like this for the production of X-ray, and this is called as the cutoff wavelength or the minimum wavelength. So this happens when all the energy that the electron has is converted into the X-ray energy. So basically the electron will have an energy EV, and this will be equal to the energy of the X-ray, which is H nu. Hc by lambda. So lambda is Hc upon EV. So we see here that lambda is inversely proportional to the voltage. And Venturi meter, again, just a theoretical question. Venturi meter is based on Bernoulli's principle. Let's move ahead. Now, a full wave rectifier circuit consists of two PN junction diodes. So basically, PN junction diode does what? It converts a sinusoidally varying AC into a system where, suppose this is the sinusoidally varying. So a PN junction will convert this into something like this, and this capacitor smoothen out this. So this capacitor, what it does, that it tries to smoothen this fluctuation, and this is nearly like this, and we get a constant DC current. So basically it's the capacitor which is the answer. Now, a metal wire, we have been given its mass and we have to like find the percentage error in density. So we know that the formula of density is mass upon volume, which can be written as m upon pi r square into L. So now the error terms are given. So we know that the relative error of density will be given as dm by m plus 2 times dr by r plus dl by L. So we just have to put in the values here, that is d rho by rho, which is the relative error, to 0.002 upon 0.4 plus twice dr is 0.001 upon 0.3 plus dl by L, that is 0.02 by 5. And when you simplify this and solve this and just multiply everything by 100 to get the percentage error, you will get 1.6. So next question is based on Young double slit experiment. So in a Young's double slit experiment, we know that if I talk about the angular width, so basically if I have a fringe width beta, so the angular width is something like this. So this angular width definitely depends on the fringe width, which is given by lambda d by d. So basically beta is proportional to lambda also, beta is proportional to d also. If you increase the screen distance, so beta will increase, so angular size will increase, and if you increase lambda, then also beta will increase. So basically here statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false, because it is saying that on increasing the wavelength, the fringes decreases, angular separation of fringes decreases, which is wrong. Now let's talk about this. It's a question from spring. So class 11 syllabus, work power energy. So we know that U is equal to half K into 2 square, and let's say U dash is half K into 8 square. So if I take the ratio here, so all the terms gets cancelled out, and we get this as 1 by 2 to 64 by 4, that is 1 by 16. So U dash is 16 times U. Third is the correct option. Now, light travels at distance x in time t1 in air. So basically, speed in air is given as x upon t1, and the speed in medium is given as 10x upon t2. And we know that the critical angle sin theta c is 1 by mu, and also we know that mu is c upon c in medium. So basically, sin theta critical in terms of speed will become cm upon c. So if you substitute in the value 10x by t2 divided by x by t1, so we get 10 times t1 by t2 sin theta c. So theta c becomes sin inverse 10 t1 upon t2. So third is the right answer. Now we have another question from class 12. This is from AC circuit again, a transformer question we have been given. So we have been given an ideal transformer. An ideal transformer, power in primary and power in secondary is same. There is no loss of energy. So I can say that I into V, that is current in the primary, into voltage of the primary, is equal to power of secondary, which is 60. So IP is 60 divided by 220, which is 3 by 11, and 0.27 ampere is the correct answer. Now, a football player is moving southward. So it's moving southward with some velocity V, which is the initial velocity, and then it moves eastward. This is the final velocity, which is also v, but we know that the force will be proportional to acceleration, which will be proportional to delta v. So delta v will be final velocity minus initial velocity. So final velocity is eastward, and the negative of initial is upward. So the resultant of these two is delta v, which is in northeast direction. So a very easy question which can be easily solved using the triangle law of vector addition. the magnitude and direction of current in the following circuit. So we have been given two battery, a easy question from current electricity. So if I have this two battery, which is in opposite polarity, in fact, this is 10 and this is 5. So the resultant should be in the direction of 10 because 10 is of bigger magnitude. So the resultant is only 5 volt and in this direction. So the current will be 5 divided by total resistance, which is 2 plus 1 plus 7, because all of them are in series. So 5 by 10, 1 by 2 is the current, and it is from A to B. So 1 is the right answer. So you have seen, like, there are many questions from class 12 up till here, and each of them is like one or two line answer. So I'm just trying to this cover this entire thing in an hour just to show you that the this paper can be easily done in an hour. So the angular acceleration of a body moving along the circumference of the circle is, so angular acceleration. So all the angular components, whether it's torque, alpha, omega, all these angular components are always along the axis of rotation. The velocity and the tangential acceleration and the radial acceleration are towards the center or tangential to it. So 3 is the right answer. A bullet is fired from a gun at a speed of 280 meters per second in the direction 30 degrees above the horizontal, the maximum height attained. So it's a 2D motion question, very straightforward. U square sine square theta upon 2g is the formula. So u is 280 square, sine theta is 1 by 2 square, and 2g is 20. So let's take it as 2 into 9.8 because g has been given as 9.8. So this is 280 into 280 into 1 by 4. So basically this can be written as 70 times, and we have 2 into 9.8. So 9.8. So you can further simplify this. This is 10 times, and this becomes 1.4 times, and this 1.4 times, this is 200. So basically 2000 divided by 2, and we get 1000 meter as the right answer, which is the second part. Now, the net magnetic flux through any closed surface, and we know that the magnetic field lines are a closed loop. So basically, magnetic flux through any closed surface will always be zero. This is a straightforward question from B dot ds is equal to 0. If you know the Maxwell rules of electromagnetic waves, the 4 rules, if you know, you could have easily answered without wasting any time. The equivalent capacitance of the system shown in the circuit is, so these two are in parallel. So in the parallel, it's like 3 plus 3. So we get 6 microfarad, and these two are in series. So equivalent capacitance will be 6 into 3 plus 6 plus 3, 18 by 9, so 2 microfarad. Fourth is the correct answer. Very, very easy question. A vehicle travels half the distance with speed v and remaining distance with 2v, the average speed. Average speed is given by the formula displacement upon time. So displacement is x plus x, and the time is x by v plus x by 2v. So when you will solve this, you will get your answer as 2v by 3 because the x will cancel out. The half-life of a radioactive substance is 20 minutes, and how much time the activity of the substance dropped to 116. So we know that A is equal to A naught 1 by 2 T upon T, where capital T is the half-life. So A upon A naught is given in the question as 1 by 16. This is 1 by 2 T upon 2. So I can write 4 is equal to T upon T because 1 by 16 is nothing but 1 by 2 to the power 4. So basically time is 4 times time period. Time period is like how much? 20 minutes. So it comes out to be 80 minutes. Okay, so we have covered a lot in very less time. Let's see, the temperature of the gas is minus 50 degrees Celsius. To what temperature the gas should be heated so that the RMS speed. So we know that the VRMS is 3 RT by M naught. This is the formula of VRMS. Now here this is increased by 3 times. So if initial velocity was V naught, the final velocity will be V naught plus 3 times V naught, which is 4 times V naught. So it becomes 4 times. So VRMS 1, I can write as V1, and the temperature is minus 50. So this is 273 minus 50 divided by V2, and V2 will be 3R upon M naught and into some temperature T that we have to find out if I divide these two things. So final by initial. So basically this becomes 1 by 4. If I square it on this side, we have everything getting cancelled out. So 223 upon T. So basically T is 16 into 223. So this is definitely like 16 3200 plus 160 320 35 20 35 68. So basically you will subtract it to get the answer 3295. Now, a Carnot engine has efficiency. So we know the formula of efficiency as T sink upon T source. So this has the efficiency of 1 by 2, 50%. And sink we have to find out, and source we have been given as 327, but we have to keep it in Kelvin. We have to be careful here. So 327 plus 273 is 600. So I get the answer as 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is equal to T sink by 600. So T sink comes out to be 300. So 300 Kelvin. So in degrees Celsius, it is 27 degrees Celsius. That is the fourth option. Now, in the next question, the magnetic energy stored in an inductor is 4 microhenry carrying the current of 2 amperes. So energy is half Li square. So this is half into 4 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 2 square. So we have 8 into 10 to the power minus 6 joule, or this is 8 equal to 8 microjoule. So we look for the 8 microjoule. So third is the correct answer. So the answers are like 8 microjoule and millijoule. So you have to be careful here, though the answer is quite straightforward. Let a wire be suspended from the ceiling, stretched by weight W. So basically tension in the wire will be A, and the stress we have to find out. Stress is tension upon area, so W upon A. So the first. So basically this, I think, is the easiest question of this paper. Now the next question, an electric dipole is placed at an angle of 30 degrees. So we have an electric field and we have a dipole P, and this angle is equal to 30 degrees. It experiences, and we know that torque is given by the formula P sine theta. So this is 4 Newton and this is P. Electric field is 2 into 10 to the power 5. Sine theta 30 degrees is 1 by 2. So this 2 gets cancelled out. So P is 4 into 10 to the power minus 5. And we know that P is positive charge multiplied by distance between the charges. So the distance between the charges is given as 2 centimeters. So basically Q will be equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 5 divided by 2 centimeter, which is 2 by 100 meters. So basically this is 2, this is 100, that is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3 that we are getting. So 2 millicoulomb will be the answer. Okay. Now let's look at the next question. In a hydrogen spectrum, the shortest wavelength in the Balmer series. So what is Balmer series? Balmer series is from higher level to n is equal to 2. That is Balmer series. And what is bracket series? From higher level to n is equal to 4. It is talking about shortest wavelength. That is longest frequency. That means highest energy. So highest energy is possible when it transits from infinity, when it transits to this state from infinity. So basically the 1 by lambda is given as R upon RZ square, 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. You must have studied this formula in the modern physics. So I can easily say that 1 by lambda 1, which is lambda, is R times, and this is 1 by 2 square minus 1 by infinity square. So this is 1 by 4, and 1 by lambda dash is RZ square. And we have 1 by 4 square minus 1 by infinity square, which is 1 by 16. So lambda dash upon lambda. So lambda dash upon lambda will be like 16 and 4. So it becomes 4 times. So we have 1 by 4. So we have lambda dash is equal to 4 times lambda. So 1 is the correct answer. The next question is the ratio of frequency of fundamental and harmonic. So fundamental frequency for a pipe open at both ends is given by 1 by 2L into C. This is the fundamental frequency. And for a pipe closed at one end, this formula is given as F naught as 1 by 4L into C. So having the same length is same, speed of sound will also be same. So basically, let's call this as F1, let's call this as F2. So F1 by F2 will be nothing but it will be 2. So 1 is the right answer. 35. Two bodies of mass m and 9m are placed at a distance r. The gravitational potential on the line joining the body where the gravitational field equals 0. So if I take 2 points, m and 9m, and the distance between them is r. So if I take a point where the gravitational field is 0 to be x, this distance will be r minus x. So I can say the gravitational field is g m upon x square is equal to g into 9m r minus x whole square. So if I take the under root here, so this will become 1 by x and this will become 3 by r minus x. So r minus x is equal to 3x. So x is r by 4. So I get the value of x as r by 4. Now I have to find out the gravitational potential. So gravitational potential is given by vector sum v1 plus v2, which is minus gm upon r by 4 minus g into 9m upon 3r by 4. You can simplify this to get an answer. Now let's move to the 36th question. A bullet from a gun is fired at a rectangular wooden block. So that is kinematics and some form of Newton's laws of motion also. So if I have a block, if it enters with a velocity u, it becomes u dash at a distance of 24 centimeter. And the velocity u dash is u by 3. So I am using the formula v square minus u square equals to 2as. That is u by 3 whole square minus u square is twice acceleration into 24 centimeter. And similarly for the entire thing, I can write u 0 square minus u square is equal to 2ax. If I divide this entire thing, I get u square by 9 minus u square. So basically this is 9 minus 1, that is 8 by 9 this becomes, and we have 24x. So x is 24 into 9 by 8, which is 27 centimeter. So we have x is equal to the total length is 27 centimeter. Now the next question is again from modern physics. So we have got quite a number of questions from modern physics. So the radius of innermost orbit of hydrogen is 5. So we know that the radius is given by 0.53 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter, or 0.53 Armstrong, you can see here. So radius, this is the first orbit, and this is also multiplied by n square by z, where n is the orbit number and z is the atomic number. So r will become 0.53 into 10 to the power minus 10, and here we have, in the first case, it is the first orbit, so it is 1 square. Let's call this as R1. In the second question, this is the third orbit, so it becomes 3 square. So it becomes 9 times. So 9 times 0.53 will be around 4.5. So 4.77 is the correct answer, but there's no need of trying to reach the exact answer. You can be very fast just by looking at the option, because the option are like very spread apart. Question number 38, calculate the maximum acceleration of a moving car so that a body lying on the floor of the car remains stationary. So on a car, if it is accelerating with A, the body will experience a pseudo force in this direction and a friction in this direction. The friction has to be greater than m times A, then only the body will not slip. So we have mu mg is greater than ma, mu gets cancelled out, gets cancelled out, mu is 0.1.5 is greater than A. So A is less than 1. So A maximum, not minimum, A maximum will be 1.5 meter per second square. Second is the right answer. 10 resistors, each of resistance R are connected in series. If they are connected in series, so the total resistance will be equal to 10R. And if they are connected in parallel, then the equivalent resistance will be R by 10. So the current increased to 10 times, n times. So current is voltage divided by resistance. So voltage upon 10R, and then I dash is voltage upon that becomes 10V by R. So these are connected in the current n times the value of n is. So you just have to take the ratio here. So if you take the ratio, so we have here V10R and this is, so this becomes I by I dash is 1 by 100. So I dash is 100 times I. So it becomes 100 times. First is the correct answer. Then the next question, a horizontal bridge is built over across a river, a student standing. So let's say this is a bridge and this is the river here and the distance is x. So you throw a ball in the upward direction, it moves up and it reaches down. So the net displacement is x. So if I'm using the formula, like if I have to find out the height of the, so if I use the formula s is equal to ut plus half at square. So x, and this is in the downward direction, minus initial velocity is 4, the time taken is 4 seconds, and we have 1 by 2, acceleration is minus 10, and this is 4 square. The second is 4 square. So we have 4 into 4, 16, minus 5 into 16, 80, and minus x. So x comes out to be 64 meter. So second one is the right answer. Now let's look at the 41st question, the net impedance of the circuit. So what is impedance? Impedance Z is given by XL minus XC. A question of AC circuit. I hope you know this formula, into R square under root. So it's very imperative that we should know how to calculate the value of XL. So XL is omega L. So omega here, the frequency is given as 50 Hertz. So omega is 2 pi F. So we get this as 100 pi. So we have 100 pi is omega and inductance is given as, sorry, and this inductance is given as 50 by pi. And this is in millihenry, so 10 to the power minus 3. So XL I'll get here as pi. And similarly, XC, that is 1 by omega C, that is 1 by 100 pi. And capacitance is 10 to the power 3 into pi. So this is 1000 by 10 to the power 3 by pi into 10 to the power minus 6. So XC comes out to be 10. So using this thing, I can say 10 minus 5 whole square plus 10 square under root is under root 125, which is 5 root 5. So second one is the right answer. Now let's talk about the satellite is orbiting just above the surface of Earth. So we know that time period formula is given as 2 pi r by 3 by 2 under root gm. This is the formula of time period. So we can replace m. Mass is how much? Mass is volume, 4 by 3 pi r cube into density d. So if I substitute it here, I get 2 pi r to the power 3 by 2. And let's say I made this as square, this becomes cube, this becomes whole square, and we have g into 4 by 3 pi r cube into d. So we have to find out the value of 3 pi gd. So this is 4 pi square and this gets cancelled out. We have 3 pi r cube. So r cube also gets cancelled out. So we have 3 pi upon gd is equal to t square. So the first answer is right. Now the 43rd question, same focal length f. So I can write 1 by f is 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2. But we know that convex has a positive focal length and concave has a negative focal length. So 1 by f equivalent is 1 by f minus 1 by f, which comes out to be 0. So f equivalent will be infinity. 44th question. For the following logic circuit, the truth table is. So I can easily draw the truth table. It's a very easy. Suppose if I take the A I take as 0, 0 and 1, 1, and I take B as 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So A naught, because this is a naught and this is an AND. So A naught will become 1, 1, 0, 0 because it reverses, and B naught will become 1, 0, 1, 0. And the addition of this A naught and B naught is 1, 1, 1, 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0, and then we take the knot of this addition. So basically 0 1 1 1. So I look at, and the first option is the correct one. Now here, a very long conducting wire is bent in a semicircular shape from A to B. So this might be confusing for some people who are not very good with right hand thumb rule and cannot find out the direction of magnetic field. So let's call this as element number 1, 2, and 3. So the net magnetic field will be the vector sum of B1 plus B2 plus B3. So B1 is a semi-infinite wire. The electric field due to B1 and B3 will be same, and the direction will also be same, because if we put our thumb in the direction of current, then our fingers points inside. So B1 and B3 vectors is equal to mu naught I upon 4 pi r, and this is into the plane. And similarly, B2 vector is due to a semicircular wire, which is mu naught I by 4 r, and this is out of the plane. So the net vector field will be twice of mu naught I by 4 pi r, and let's call this as minus k cap and plus mu naught I by 4r. So you will add these two equations together and you'll get the second answer as the right answer. Now let's look at the 46th question. The resistance of a platinum wire at 0 degrees Celsius is 2 ohms and at 6 point. So we know that the resistance varies according to a linear relationship. R is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha delta T. So the resistance is 2 ohms, and this becomes and 6.8 at 80 degrees Celsius. So this is 2 1 plus alpha, and the difference of temperature is 80. So we have 3.9 minus 1 is alpha into 80. So alpha is 2.9 upon 80. So you can easily simplify this and you can get your answer as 3 into 10 to the power minus 2, because the answers are quite far apart. So the calculation might not be very difficult. Now, electric dipole is placed as shown in the figure. Now, this question is a very tricky question. Though question is very easy, but the dipole here is not small dipole. So we can't use the potential formula, that is Kp upon R square. We can't use this formula. We have to use the formula where this is Kp upon R square minus A square. So we know that the distance from this charge is 5 centimeter and this is 3 centimeter. So this becomes 2 centimeter, and the distance from this is 5 plus 3, 8 centimeter. So the net potential here will be V plus and potential due to V minus. So due to the V plus, it will be KQ upon 2 square, 2 by 100. We have to convert in meter, and V minus we have KQ and we have 8 by 100 whole square. So we take KQ as common and this 100 square also as common. And we will be left with simply this the electric potential according to, so we'll be left with this becomes 100 square, and we have 1 by 4 minus 1 by 64. So you can further simplify this to get the answer, and we have electric potential we have to find in 10 to the power 2. So it's not a very difficult question. So you can easily find the answer. Now in the next one, in the figure shown here, what is the equivalent focal length of the combination of lenses? So equivalent focal length is given by 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 plus 1 by f3. That is the equivalent focal length. So 1 by f1, I can say that if I take this surface as the infinite radius of curvature, this has the 20 radius of curvature. So this, we know the formula, that is mu length upon mu medium minus 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. That is called as the lens maker formula. So 1 by f1 we can get as 1.6 minus 1, and 1 by r1 is 1 by infinity minus 1 by r2, which is 20 centimeters. So I get an answer in negative, that is 0.1 upon 20, and it's a negative. Similarly, 1 by f2 can be written as 1.5 minus 1, and this is 1 by 20 plus minus 1 by 20, and we get this as 0.5, 0.6, 0.5 upon 2020. 10 here, and then we can have 1 by f3, which is 1.6 minus 1, and this is the first surface, so this is 1 by minus 20 minus 1 by infinity, so the same as first one, and then you can just substitute them together to get this 100 centimeter as the correct answer. Now, a wire carrying I positive in x direction, length L, if it is kept in a magnetic field, so we know that the force on a wire is I L cross B. And L and I have the same direction. So the wire is kept along the positive x-axis. So basically this L vector is equal to Li cap. So the force will be I into Li cap cross B, which is 2I plus 3J minus 4K. So if I take the cross product here and I take IL, so basically when it gets multiplied by I, it becomes 0. I cross J is K. So this is equal to 3K, and when I gets multiplied by K, I cross K is minus J. So this is minus plus 4J. So if I want to find out the magnitude, this is 5 times IL. So the second option. Now we have been given a xt graph here performing simple harmonic motion, the acceleration. So acceleration is given by the formula minus omega square x. So maximum acceleration is omega square a, because this is the point of maximum acceleration, that is maximum displacement, which is amplitude. So if I have to find out the acceleration here, so we have the value of omega. So if I look at the graph, the time period is 8 seconds. So t is equal to 2 pi by omega. So omega is 2 pi by 8, which is pi by 4 seconds. Pi by 4 radian per second. So we have pi by 4 whole square, and the amplitude is 1 meter. So this is 1. So this is like minus pi square upon 16. Third is the correct answer. So a very pretty easy question, but represented through graph. So we have like covered 50 questions, and I guess we have taken less than an hour. So basically this was a paper which could have been easily solved in less than 1 hour, and like you could have solved a pretty good score.